Have you ever felt like your dreams were out of reach because of the challenges you face? Or if I have told you that no obstacle, no matter how big, can stop you from achieving your goal if you are determined enough. In this episode, in this video, we are covering a journey of a very special person, Yagnit. He is specially abled, he is a blind person, but he's pursuing molecular biology in Vienna, and he has been interviewed by so many organizations, and he is a special kind of inspirational person. Today in Roaming Relations, we are going to interview him and get to know his personal journey and how he came from India to Vienna and about Uni Wien as well. So stay connected, stay tuned, and watch till the end because a lot of informational and special content is coming. Any advice that you would like to give to specially abled people who would be interested in moving abroad in terms of accessibility and other challenges?
Yes, like I would just advise them like to be always open-minded and never think what others are doing. You have to be different. You have to innovate yourself sometimes. Never say that, oh, I got a grade 5 because I was not, I'm blind and, I need this. Like a lot of people do. Like, oh, I can't do this. Can you take my oral exam? No. If a normal child is expected to write, you are also expected to write. And you cannot complain that I can't write because in terms of visual impairment, there are softwares, there are screen readers, and they are very advanced. So you can type it on your computer. You can type the exam on your computer and send it across to the faculty. And the second advice is, don't be pseudo-optimistic. Don't have this false optimism feeling about you that you are blind or you are say XYZ disability. You will be prioritized in everything. No, that doesn't work in Europe. Everybody is equal and everybody gets the same treatment as everybody else does.
That's actually be realistic and
Yeah. You have to be. Don't be in a bubble. Don't be like a frog in a pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I say it in a pool. Or don't be a shark in a pool. Be like, it's a big ocean. You have to swim. There will be people who will swim with you for some distance, but nobody will swim with you till the end. So you have to be independent enough. You have to develop skills. You have to do skill-based courses, which will make you independent. Yeah, and then you can establish yourself here. But don't expect people to help you all the time. People have other priorities. They will try to help you as much as they can, but every human has his or her own.
Welcome, Yagnit. Welcome to Roaming Relations.
Hey, it's my pleasure to be here, Preksha. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to express my views, and I hope that this conversation between us motivates more international Indian, not only Indian but international scientific community, thereby raising awareness about inclusivity in modern molecular biology laboratories, and not just laboratories, but in the whole scientific domain outside, because science is just not what you do in the lab. Science is what you communicate to people, how you are able to raise the ideas for a particular topic that you are working on. So, for example, I want to work on blueberry genetics. So it's very challenging because not a lot of people want to work on this and not a lot of research groups are dedicated to this. But then, it's my duty being blind. My duty is to raise more and more awareness through organizing articles and writing a lot of blog posts and publications for this domain.
Awesome. So we can start where you can introduce yourself and how you are at this point. What was your journey?
Yeah, so hello everyone. I'm Yagnit is my although it's a very difficult name to pronounce. It's pronounced Yagnit Vadel. I am a master's student at the University of Vienna studying plant biology, and the course is Masters of Science in Botany. And botany has always been close to my heart. Although I'm a chemist by my bachelor's degree. I did my bachelor's from St. Xavier's College in Mumbai, and I did my bachelor's in chemistry. But what made me switch to plant biology is very fascinating. So I started doing courses from Israel and United States as a part of Coursera, and I was very motivated by this lectures given by Professor Daniel Shimowitz at the Ben Gurion University of the Negev. Now he's very influential, and also I did one course with Ira Eichelwien at San Diego, UC San Diego, and so what I always wanted to do is the fact that so much amount of human population, large, parts of it is still under poverty, and according to statistics, 8 million people are going hungry. How we are going to feed the world if our population is going to be like almost double or 3-4 times by 2050 or more after that? We need more land, but we have only one planet. But we have now, due to various anthropogenic activities, we have lesser and lesser arable land for growing crops. So this is what motivated me, that how I could bring the knowledge and the skill sets that I learned during my chemistry course and combine it with with biology, and thereby understanding the chemical biology, basically the molecular aspects of crop resistance to drought and salinity, and how I landed up in blueberry genetics. Well, when I came to Austria, I always used to like eating blueberries, and it fascinated me because it has so much antioxidants.
Yeah.
But the chilling time and the various factors which are involved, it is very strange that climate change is affecting this to a great extent. So I want to study how we can design and develop new mutants, or rather to say new varieties of blueberries, and introduce them in the wild, not in the wild, but cultivation process. We need to cultivate blueberries which require lesser chilling. That's what is my area of research.
Can you tell us about where are you from and about your specially abled journey a little bit?
Yes. So yeah, sure. So basically, I hail from Ireland, which is we are basically Portuguese-speaking island. So my language, I speak Gujarati, but we were a Portuguese colony, and that's Diu and Daman. It's a very small island, but I was born and brought up in Mumbai. And being in Mumbai, it was not a big challenge for me because of my family's support. I took up education in an all-English school, and then I went to do my HSC, that's higher education studies in India, which you do after 10th grade. So I did it from my junior college, where I was always fascinated about molecular biology. And then although my disability was prominent, but I had always had very supportive and determined faculty and non-teaching staff who always motivated me to do my lab work, take more lab courses rather than theory courses. And then I moved to St. Xavier's, and this was the golden, basically the pinnacle of my life, I would say, in India. So I was exposed to a lot of techniques, and I got in contact with this organization, which is a part of St. Xavier's College, which is called the Xavier Resource Center for the Visually Challenged. So they provided me with a lot of assistance with regards to providing me infrastructure, providing me a sighted lab partner who would not help me, who would not do the practicals, but who would be my eye. and who would substitute my eye. And yeah, I was able to achieve remarkable results. And then I was able to do a lot of work on plants. And, my favorite subject was about hormone development, how hormone aids development in plants. So this motivated me to learn more. And then when the COVID pandemic started, I got exposure to Coursera, wherein I did a lot of courses, which not only provided me with the opportunity which I was looking up, but also made me personally connect to a lot of international faculties.
All right. And about the visual disability, so was it since birth or was it an accident?
Yeah, so basically about my visual impairment, so I have been diagnosed with a disease called end-stage glaucoma, and it resulted, I don't know how, but I was born blind by birth.
Okay, and with your schooling, it's amazing that you got these supportive faculties and your family support. And after COVID and after schooling, after your bachelor's, what brought you to Vienna? How did it emerge in your mind?
So basically, I was, when I was in my third year of bachelor's, I did my bachelor studies like in chemistry, but then I was looking, I always wanted to be somehow a botanist. I don't know how. But then I started reading for like, I was always, not like normal guys who would like, hey, give me notes. I would go and always read research papers. And I came across this brilliant paper by Eva Benkova and Yuri Frimmel. So they are now in ESTA. And I was really fascinated because they have good research is not about just going to the lab and, oh, you have brilliant journals, brilliant research index. No, that doesn't work. For me, what was fascinating about the Austrian university, especially the University of Vienna, is that it had good research collaborations. So it had this institute called Gregor Mendel Institute of Molecular Plant Biology, the GMIMPB. So I was really fascinated by, works of Leon Jolan, Yosin Daktis, and Sylvia Romendo. So I was really fascinated by Leon Jolan's work on mosses and how various developmental processes are programmed, in plants, and that's what is very fascinating to me. So, this would end in a long run motivate me to apply this research to blueberry genetics and what I want to do on blueberries.
Okay. I'm curious to know about the challenges you were facing with the accessibility in Austria, in India.
Yeah, so it's a very good question. With regards to accessibility in India, I didn't have a lot of concerns to raise because, I don't know how. I feel I was privileged enough because I got what I wanted. And XR, the Xavier's Resource Center for the Visually Challenged, we call it the XR-CVC. They would work around the clock, for example, in my bachelor's, I was asked to dissect a slide, like a sample of a worm which is called Neris. It's a marine worm, sea worm. So I wanted to see the parapodium, which are the hairs. And I would always go 1 hour before the practical in the lab, and I would sit with my lab professors, faculty, and I would ask them if I could practice the sectioning. And I was practicing it so dedicatedly with my assistant that sometimes my assistant used to say, hey, Yagnit, it's okay. You are able to see some. I'm like, no, I want to see what a normal person can see. I want to see how an ideal section should look like. I am not going to compromise that I'm a visually impaired. So, okay, if I'm able to see, say, 25%, 30%, it's okay. No, for me, what I always aimed is 100% perfection. It doesn't matter if you don't have eyes. It doesn't matter that you will not be perfect. what is important for me and what was important for me from the very beginning was precision and precision and precision. And I was I had also good friends in India. Like some of them were I always made friends from all over India. And I had a lot of friends from Kerala and like Sneha, Jewel, and thank you so much for them. Because of their support, I am here. And they always helped me to be what I am today. They always made me independent. They told me, you are blind, but you are like us. You can do absolutely the same things which we could do. And my dedication culminated, when I had to take the section. It was the best section in the whole class, and the faculties were shocked. How could you take such a beautiful section? I'm like, you are lost in seeing. You are more. For me, I feel it, and my tactile senses are very sharp because I have developed them. So we call it substituting the senses. I was then able to do dissections and a lot of microscopy. I love doing microscopy even though I'm blind. I take up mostly microscopy courses in my university, and my faculty here, they make fun of blind guy doing microscopy. Fascinating. How do you do it? I'm like, how do you do it? It's simple, you just you see. I know if you need a microscope to see a small object, then what's the difference between a blind and a sighted? Even you are blind in front of the microscope. You need a thing to see this. You need a microscope to see a bacterium. I do need the microscope to see the bacterium.
Yeah, right. And how was accessibility in the University of Vienna?
Yeah, so University of Vienna, see, basically, I would say it's a public funded university. It's not like as a visually impaired student. I don't have to pay tuition fee in the European Union. So, but University of Vienna has good, dedicated people, but they don't have the resources. For example, when I came here, I wanted to have my diagrams because, plant biology is not just, reading papers. You need to understand the concepts through pictures. So, and mostly pictorial representations were what was a big challenge. In India, I had like machines at my disposal. I would just take an image, I would give it to the Xavier's XRCVC. They had specialized technology which would make 3D printings of it, which I could feel it in my hand. But here, they were not aware about this. And then I had a meeting with my professor. He's the nicest guy. He's the most helpful guy I've ever met in Austria. Gerhard Schneeweiss. And I talked to him. I asked him, sir, if we could buy it. And he didn't take a second to think, He's like, yes, tell me what you want. Tell me what you want. You will be provided with everything you want. Just say, I need this, and you will get it.
Wow.
And then, I had the machine, and now, it's just a matter of minutes. I take microscopy images. I have an assistant who helps me sort out the images. Then I send it to the library, the biology library of University of Vienna, and then we print it off. So that's what it is. See, Austria, the main thing is they are not aware because there are not a lot of students who show this courage to take up biology. Because I don't feel biology is a joke, and especially molecular biology. It's not a joke to study.
Not.
No, because a sighted person struggles. So imagine what will happen to a blind. But till when are we gonna say that molecular biology is for the person with eyes? When are we gonna, when are we gonna be open to persons with blindness? That is the thing.
Right. And what were the academic and cultural changes that you faced from India coming to Austria?
So see, for me, because my aunt was studying in the US, and so for me it was not a big challenge. Why? Because she already trained me, according to Western standards. my family is very, very westernized. Like we have a Western culture. So for me, it was not a big problem because I am, as like, I'm very open-minded. I accept every culture, and I don't believe in the concept of cultural shocks. It doesn't, this concept, if it's just in your mind, I have had never any problem when I came to Vienna. Like I was welcomed. I have mostly European friends, and yeah, like, we need to respect each other's culture. If you respect theirs, they will respect yours. That's what I believe. And talking to about my academics, I knew that I will be exposed to this like a top level of research faculty. So I started reading up about my research faculty, about my professors, about my course advisors, about the research that they are doing, and the whole class used to be quiet. And I used to ask questions which were mostly, like research oriented questions. For example, I was having a seminar, and I was asking a question like, like there was a fellow student of mine presenting on that topic, and I asked, you are talking about, like, they were talking about the gene which is important for fruit color in plants. I was asking, like, I know this gene is important, but like, how, what are the mechanisms? How, you say we did CRISPR, but how did you ensure that only this gene was targeted and not the other gene? Because I know this group, they did it. I know a research paper, I could cite it. I told it, this group is working on this. But they face some difficulties. How would you take up this challenge? So I would always, be interested, academically interested. I was always like that from India, that I would always read up way in advance about any organization or any institute that I would like to be a part of.
So this was part one of the video where Yagnit speaks about these challenges. In the part two, we are covering about University of Vienna applications, application process, and university rankings. So click here to watch the second part of the video.